Okay, let's get this started. Appreciate everybody coming to this Lunch Bytes today. If those of you got the emails, I want to do a couple things. First of all, explain Lunch Bytes a little bit. Usually we do a Lunch Bytes at least once a month on products, and this one, usually I do it on pretty technical stuff. This one's going to be about Acumatica ERP. We've revamped our Lunch Bytes, and this is going to be more of a general overview of Acumatica and some of the reasons why we're involved with it, as well as I'm going to do a demo at the end as well. The goal of this is just to get people information about this so they can look into it a little further if they're interested and give some background information. I'm going to try to go half an hour, 45 minutes at the most. First, we're going to cover intro of the WAC solution partners, evolution of computer accounting and ERP systems, why we work with Acumatica, and then I'll do an overview of Acumatica. So who are WAC solution partners? We're essentially 13 partners that were entrepreneurs before we all joined together. We've been together since 1987. We have been partners with WAC for about 6 years, and essentially all we do are ERP systems, accounting and ERP systems, implementations, training. And here's some of the systems we work with. We work with pretty much all the Sage products. We work with Acumatica, which we've added in the last year, NetSuite, Abila Fund Accounting, as well as QuickBooks. We have 13 partners across the United States. We happen to be in California. We have people in the Midwest. We have people in the South. Our home office is in Boston. If you look up here in Seattle, where the little guy is, that's where I'm originally from. Acumatica is headquartered in Seattle, a town called Kirkland, and they've been there now for a few years. If you go to their office, they're right in the same parking lot as the original Microsoft building that was from back in the 80s when Microsoft had just started their company. So it's a little bit about our map. So I want to go into a basic overview of accounting systems and ERP and why this is important. I'll explain that. But essentially, it's a lot of people's belief that there is every 10 years there's some kind of a major change in technology that moves society forward, and it's always caused by entrepreneurs and innovators. So we got 1980 to 2010, and I'm going to go back before this into the 70s. Essentially, in the 70s, nobody had access to personal computers. There was only large computers by about 3 or 4 large companies that controlled the market. The biggest one of them was IBM. I was involved with them back in the day, back in the olden days. But mostly those computers were used for scientific applications with colleges, universities, government, and large corporations. So we all learned Fortran programming back in those days, and we use those things for things like calculating circuits, power calculations in a circuit. We used it to figure out the hydro output of a turbine, and people use them for payrolls and other large applications. And they were programmed. If you're going to do a computer program, you're going to spend all week there pretty much. And it's going to take days and days to program these things. They used punch cards, but the benefit of it was that you could build a program and then you could use it over and over and over again. And that's the idea of a computer system. It can save you time. In the 1990s, about that time, a few people figured out how to put a microchip onto a motherboard and build a computer box that you could take home with you. And some of those people in the beginning were Commodore. There was the Osborne computer. There was Stephen Jobs and Stephen Wozniak that built the first Apple computer. There was Radio Shack, and there was a whole host of people that started up this industry. We, in particular, in 1983, bought a Radio Shack TRS Model 4 for our bookkeeping business, so we paid $4,000 for it. And we were in business. We started off with this machine. It had about 200K bytes of memory and one large 9-inch floppy disk. So around 2005, 2006 period, then we had DOS, and we upgraded to the DOS machine, Tandy 2000 machines, and essentially these machines, we used them as standalone machines, and every customer had its own box, and we did accounting. Everything was just fine. Everything was great. In about 1991, one of our customers asked us if they could have their own accounting system. We could still help them and train them, but they wanted to have it in-house. And so at that time, there was a concept called client-server that came into play. And I met my first computer IT geek in 1991. And he brought a box into our office, and he called it a file server. And this thing, I asked, what's this box for? He says, well, this is a file server. It ran on Novell. And all this box did was it allowed you to plug in a bunch of other computers through with cables and have these other computers talk to this box and get data off this box. It was called client-server technology. In our case, we had a MAS 90 product that was developed by state-of-the-art down in California, and it worked just fine. One of the problems with these systems is they have a thing called, they don't support statelessness. So these, that's on the bottom of the slide, these things can go haywire if the connection goes bad, and it can crash the entire system. I'd also say today about 90% of our customers are still on the client-server environment. Then came 2000, we had web-based systems. The big hype was when the World Wide Web was introduced in 1996, roughly, we had web-based systems. We had all this e-commerce, we had all these people getting on the web and the dot-com bomb, the dot-com era. And we also had a thing we had at that time where we had what were called hosted systems, where somebody could build a big old huge bank of computers, and you could subscribe to it, and you could put your software up on that and run it. So today we have a few people that are on this type technology where they host QuickBooks, they host Sage 100, and basically you just log into this machine, you log on, and you can get to your desktop, and it's backed up every night, and it's a pretty cool thing. It's called native web. Now we're talking about 2010 roughly, what Acumatica fits into. That's called Cloud ERP, where everything is browser-based, and you just click on a web browser, and you go right to the program, and it's running up on the cloud. It's running on the internet. So let's see, where are we at? That's sort of my background on the evolution of ERP. All right, so I'm going to get more into why we're involved with Acumatica. Why are we involved with Acumatica? Well, what does Acumatica bring to the table? It allows us to take control of our business. It allows us to play to our strengths. It empowers our people. So you can take control of your business with Acumatica because you can leverage the infrastructure that you've already built up over the years, because they'll sell you a license that will run on it. Also, they'll also sell you a license that could be subscription that could run on that, and it could be on one of those servers that I talked about, the hosted servers, or they'll actually do entirely where they manage everything, and it empowers your people, because your people can use this technology from anywhere. They can use it on any computer, any device, their phone, and so. Next slide. So let's talk about Acumatica, the core suite. You see the 4 different pillars here. You have financial management, which is the accounting, the accounts payable, accounts receivable functions, general ledger functions. You have project accounting, which can be involved with the project costing that involves time and labor, and essentially costing jobs costing cost against a project. Then you have distribution management. You have all your shipping and all your warehousing and sales orders and purchase orders. And then we have customer management, which is leads and sale and proposals and all that sort of stuff out there. There's a whole bunch of other ones too. There's manufacturing. There's some real estate suites they have. But the key with Acumatica is it's all built on one platform. We've seen customer management systems developed by one company, an inventory system developed by somebody else, a project accounting program developed by somebody else. They're all running by themselves, or else even kind of a worse thing is where somebody builds something and they try to integrate them all together, and then you have just an overall management. The power with Acumatica is all in one suite. It's all in one platform. So now, what about Acumatica? Why are we involved with them? What's the deal? I mean, why did we take it on? It's something we're adding on to help our customers and give them options of new things that they can do, and they can leverage this technology. We're not going to abandon our other products, etc. But basically, the background on them is they started in 2008. They've shipped their first product in 2010. They have now, 5 years later, over 1,000 users. They're the number one fastest growing web ERP in the world. They have many awards, and I would just say about them, they are a little bit what people call disruptive. They are kind of like Henry Ford when he started his company. There was all these large manufacturing companies that controlled the market that just sold to rich people, essentially. Henry Ford wanted to sell a car for $800. He wanted to make it available to the masses, so he kind of came in and disrupted that whole market, disrupted the big boys. He got sued. Long story is he won the case, and it's all history now. But Acumatica has a pricing model that's different than everybody else. They price by consumption. It's how much do you use, not how many users you have. Imagine we have Southern California Edison. We have 3 people in our house. What if we added another 4th person, another user of our system? Would they charge us another 25%? No, they charge us by our power consumption. So that's Acumatica's model. They charge by the consumption. There's no penalty to grow from 25 users to, say, 30 users. It's all based on the number of cores you use in a server and how much power you essentially use. Okay, so we're really happy to be partners with them. So let's go into the web demo now. See if at this point, let's end this show. Where are we at? Come on. There we go. So let's get rid of this. Let's go to my. So here I'm already logged on to my Acumatica program. I'm on here as an administrator. I pretty much have access to everything, but let's just log out of this for now. And I'm going to sign out of it for a second. This, by the way, is on my machine. And this could be, like I said, on a server bank somewhere, or it could be just hosted by Acumatica themselves on the Amazon cloud. So let's log back in. And we'll do my password. And as you can see, there's a demo company, but there's several other companies here that we have that we can get to. So I'm just going to sign into it and see how it does up here. Okay, so if we look up here, the first thing I'm going to show you is that this is basically a website, a web address. Okay, and this is on a tab by itself. Everything up here is what's called a sitemap. So we have organization, finance, distribution across the top. If I want to get to something on the next sitemap down, I just click on finance and it goes to down here where you see general ledger, cash management, accounts payable, and the URL change. So let's just go to like general ledger here,
Well, actually, I'm in General Ledger already. So if you look at this, you have these tabs down here. You have the work area where you'd kind of be doing one-off daily transactions type things, General Ledger transactions. You have a work area where essentially this is where you can batch things on a daily basis or do recurring transactions down here. Then you have a reports tab here, and then you have a configuration tab. If you look at this thing, go further into it, every single one of these looks the same pretty much. They just have different things in the tabs. So let's just go into something like chart of accounts. I'll show you one screen. So here's my chart of accounts. You can see it's got columns pretty much. You can move the column length like this. You can, if you want to click on this account and right-click, right-click, you can see you can filter it. You can do, you can find a particular number, or you can sort by, or you can, limit what's on the screen. Most all the screens let you export out to Excel. So let's just go up here to this little Excel guy and hit this button. And it's just running kind of in the background. It runs at my speed as my computer. So it just dumped it out, so I can go open. So it's just dumped out to Excel. You can do that really with anything, with customers, vendors, inventory items, whatever, you name it. We also have an import function. So pretty much from any screen, I can load records. And all I have to do here would be to click on this and then go grab a file, point to the file I have. We can import in from Excel, CSV, text files, SQL, just about anything you want to import in, we can import in. So it's really handy when you're starting a new system. You can import, your old customer list out of your QuickBooks, or vendors, or inventory items, and also you can do things like import sales orders. If you have a particular thing you're doing with sales orders, you can automate it and make it very simple when you set up an import to do that. So let's just get out of this. So let me just kind of show you a simple report to start with. Let's go back to distribution. And I'm going to go down to sales orders. And I want to see a report on my sales orders. Oops, get rid of this. Whoops, hang on. What am I doing? Something's not right. Sales order reports is what I want. Sorry. So I want to go down to sales order summary reports. Okay, so I just want to run a report that'll do all my sales orders for the year of 2013, for instance. Let's just go in here to this calendar, pick this, 13, pick January 1st. Do the next one would be 12/31/2013. And also you can see up here I can make a template. So I've got some already saved, but let's just make one called sales order. What you got to do is go to save template. So I want to make one called sales orders 2013. And what this allows you to do really is to create a report that you would like to use every month or every couple of weeks, and you don't have to every time, always recreate the report. So you can save that, and as you can see, you can filter by inventory items or customer numbers. But I'm going to run everything out, so I'm just going to run this report right now. And as you can see, it filtered all my sales orders out for this period. And if you look up here, I can send it out via email. I can export it out. I can print it out. And the other cool thing about this is if I want to go into here and click on this reference number, I can go look at the sales order itself. And there's my sales order coming up. So we're right at about 35 minutes. I'm going to go for about another 5 minutes and open it up for questions if there's anything. That's pretty simple. But the point is, this is a very simple, easy system to use. It's easy to learn it, and it does a lot for you. The last thing I'm going to show you, a couple things, is I want to show you, let's just say you want to open up 2 different things at the same time and look at, so I want to work on sales orders. I want to open my sales orders up. But I also want to see where I want to look at my prospects in my customer management list. So what I can do is I can just go here, copy this URL, go copy, and go open up a new window up here and just paste it in. And enter. And now I basically have 2 windows open. And they're both pointing to sales orders. So I want to take this one over here and I want to change it to my organization, customer management, and I want to look at, let's say, for example, leads. And I want to look at my leads. And let's just go to all records. So now I can be here, I can be looking in my leads, I can be doing work here, and if I want to go over and do a sales order, all I got to do is click this little window and there it is. Some programs that I'm familiar with, that we're familiar with, I don't want to say who they are, but you can only open up one screen at a time and you have to completely get out of the other screen before you can get to this new screen. Acumatica lets you open up as many windows as you want to, okay? The last thing I want to show you is I want to explain responsive design. So what is responsive design? Well, it's how your phone works. If your phone, you go to a web page on your phone, it basically shrinks down the web page to fit your phone. And really simple, it's just like this. You go here, I'll just show it how it works. I've got this screen here. Let's just make this bigger. I've already kind of shown it to you. I've got this screen here. Let's make it bigger. And say I'm looking at this on my iPad or my phone. You see all this stuff across here up on the top? If I go like this, you can see the little arrow over here. Just keep going. It shrinks all the way down. You see how everything disappeared up? There's only organization and finance. Well, if I click on this little guy, boom, there's all my other stuff. And that's what happens on your phone. So Acumatica will just shrink down to whatever size you want it and use it. That's what's called responsive design. So I guess what I wanted to do, that's kind of what I wanted to show you guys today. And let's just go back. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them, but I appreciate your time today. Let's see if there's any questions. Well, I thank you very much for your time, and we'll talk to you later next month, okay? And I'm just going to sign off now.